Still out there with big bonuses, living a life of Riley.
Is he?
Well, I had a PPI thing many years ago, and in fact, when I bought my canal boat, and they said, well, to cover you on the insurance in case you lose your job or whatever, you better take this insurance out. See, so, and it was whatever it was, I can't remember now, but not a lot of money. So I said, yeah, okay, fine, I'll have that. Now then, I then wrote to Lloyds Bank, and in fact, it wasn't Lloyds Bank at the time. It was I don't know,
Halifax, was it?
I think it might have been Halifax or some other company, anyway. But they've got taken over by Lloyds.
Or Bank of Scotland?
No, it was. It's immaterial, or whatever it was, because I put my claim into Lloyds, and Lloyds came back and they said, as it's over more than 8 years old, we can't deal with it because we haven't got the records. And the trouble is, if you
that's not true. They have got the records. They can't be bothered. They're meant to keep the records for at least 10 years.
Well, that's the letter that they gave back to me.
Oh, quite sure.
And the trouble is, of course, if you put a complaint in with somebody, especially if you do it with the companies, you can't put it in again. So. They got you by the short and whatever it is, all the rest. Hey, this is one that'll get you going.
Who?
Bob, I know this one, because she's your favourite politician, I think, as a left-winger who sent her son to private schools. Guess who I'm talking about? The Shadow Home Secretary, Diane Abbott.
Oh, Mrs. Abbott. Miss Abbott,
she's
sorry.
no stranger to hypocrisy.
No, you're
but
kidding.
Even her most ardent supporters might struggle to defend her latest ruse to boost her £75,000 a year MP's income. She took £1,500 for 3 hours' work to appear on a Sky TV show, the satirical Russell Howard Hour.
Never heard of it.
Well, no, but that's according to the latest register of MPs' financial interests. But so what? Look at Tony Blair now. He is making millions. He just opens his eyes and
Tony B. Lyle.
Yeah,
he should be a war criminal.
Well, that's because we want him. He only gets paid because we, the public, want to see him or hear him talking. Otherwise, he wouldn't get paid.
It's not the public; it's the companies, isn't it?
Well, whether it's companies, the public, whoever it's, we, the people, in one guise or another, are prepared to put down money to speak to him. And surprisingly, Diane Abbott, as much as we might all find her a little bit irritating on occasions, actually has the ability to be able to get lots of people to tune in or watch a programme because she's on it.
A lot of mad people about.
Well, I don't know. Is the reason that they because they know that she's so challenged in a position of authority with somebody that is challenged as she is?
I must say,
why is it?
I must say it's really rather interesting because many years ago now, and I am talking about many years ago, I was a non-executive director on a radio station, on a radio company actually, and we used to attend their board meetings as a non-executive director 3 times a year, I think it was, and we used to be paid £1,200 for what was roughly 2 to 3 hours meeting, but the majority of that time was spent drinking wine and eating sandwiches, with about 20 minutes of talking.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, I was, and then I would get a bill. Well, I would get £500. £500 per 3 hours.
What's that got to do with the price of Abbott's?
Well, I don't know. It's just saying, that some people are lucky and some people are luckier even still.
What about Black Friday? Come on. I just had another email. This is true. They're extending, stretching Black Friday probably for another year, probably.
Oh, of course.
How many of these are we getting now? Even Auchan in France, a supermarket, I got an email from them this morning, Black Friday, but it's Saturday.
Well, the thing is, if you listen to all the pundits, the fact is that you would be better waiting off until January, and that's when you're going to get the real bargains, So.
Or the Boxing Day sales.
Yeah. Good Lord, the door's open.
It's Dave and Charlotte.
It's Dave and Charlotte.
No, it's Dave. No Charlotte.
Dave, no Charlotte, no.
No Charlotte.
She's parking the car, probably. No. She'll be in a minute. No, anyway.
Charlotte, Dave.
Listen, one thing we haven't talked about, I'm very surprised actually, is that Mr. What's his name, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Hammond.
Oh, Hammond, yeah.
He had a budget in the week.
Old organ.
No, we're not moaning about that, groaning about that at all.
Well, I didn't see much wrong with it, particularly apart from, cigarettes going up, that's good, isn't it?
I think it's brilliant.
But that doesn't stop people smoking.
Well, the trouble is that also there's some high...
You don't see much wrong with it. Do you want me to start?
You
Do you really want to unleash the comments of the week?
Oh, I've seen it all.
Firstly, he is trying to address the house problem again by making it easier for people to buy. By making it easier for people to buy, by giving them more money, reducing all it's doing is again forcing up demand.
Well, yes.
So actually, it's having a negative effect. He's putting money into house building, but not into saying to local councils, build a load of council houses for rent only at fair rents. He's pumping money into the private sector to build more houses. What are they going to build? More houses for people who've already got houses.
Well, they'd be building houses that people can't afford.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but what would the other parties have done? Would they have been any different? I doubt.
Well, no, Labour it's Labour go on and on about it.
But McDonnell's been in trouble this week because he won't answer questions, will he?
They spent 12 years in government and didn't build one single council house, not one. So, I'm afraid Labour has hardly got a clean bill of health on that.
Well, and as the Lib Dems have got no chance of getting in, what would they do, you see?
Well, I've been promoting the fact that I think we should build, and the reason, let me explain this, take a second.
Please do.
I think we should build 500,000 council houses over the next 3 years. And I think those council houses should be for rent only. They will take roughly 30 years to pay for themselves. By the time they've paid for themselves, then they sort of start turning a profit because people will still be paying rents, and those rents can go towards paying for pensions. And the long term, so it's a good business long term for the country to get into.
Where are you getting the money from, though, to build them?
You can borrow money at 1% at the moment. Money is incredibly cheap, but the councils are not allowed. The Tory government will not allow councils to borrow money to build council houses. At the council, various councils would love to build houses, but they're not allowed to because of the imposition of rules and regulations by the Tory government. So, don't get me started on it.
Politics
Politics
has gone mad.
It's not in politicians' interests, right? Because the majority of people that vote are old. The majority of people that are old own their own houses. So, actually, what they want to do is keep the prices high because that keeps a very high percentage of people that actually voting. So if you're a poor homeless person, you're unlikely to vote, are you? So you don't really count.
You just lower the voting age.
To 16. But yes, when Diane Abbott says people go to war.
Some interesting points there, Alan.
Well, if you lower the voting age to 16, what you will have is a Labour government instantly.
Well, of course you will.
Because 16-year-olds don't realise the amount of... Because it's all lovely when you're 16.
It's brainwashing, isn't it?
Well, it's not so much brainwashing, it's naivety. The thing is, when you're young, you tend to think in socialist terms. It's the nature of being young. You think it would be a fairer society if people had everything. And when you've got someone like Jeremy sitting up there saying, I'll give you free schooling, I'll get rid of this, I'll do this, you can all have a house, and you can all live happily ever after, because we'll give you everything without actually explaining how you're going to pay for it. When you're young, you believe that. So you've got thousands of young people all saying, Jeremy's God because he's promising us the earth, without the ability to be able to pay for it.
But there's a vast amount of left-wing teachers as well who are pumping out the message, isn't there?
Yeah, and many teachers are left-wing.
Yeah.
The bottom line is it's tough for whoever is in government and with the budgets.
Look,
maybe the problem, there probably isn't a housing crisis. Maybe there's just too many people in this country.
Well, that's a good point.
Well, that's the other side of the coin.
There is too many people in this country.
But I don't believe that's the case. I believe what we've got is a housing crisis forced by people who, people who've already got houses don't really want other people to have houses, because you go to any village and say, I want to build some houses on your village, around your village, and they will all complain. All right, it's yes, we need to do something about people getting houses, but not near us.
Well, Milton Keynes will never take off.
Well, Milton Keynes is fortunate because actually it has vast amounts of planning permission, and in fact there's 250,000 planning permissions that have been granted in Milton Keynes, and the house builders are not building them.
And that was the Alan Mallyon show.
Good. That's it. I'm afraid we've got to say cheerio.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Here's the time to say goodbye.
I'm not in love, so don't forget it. just a silly phase. I'm going